Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, the housing market is healing and the state's job picture is improving, but where does Arizona's economy go from here? And we'll learn about efforts to conserve phosphorus, an essential component of agriculture and life itself. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The Justice Department internal investigation finds that former U.S. Attorney for Arizona Dennis Burke improperly gave information to a news reporter regarding the botched Fast and Furious gun running case. The investigation says that Burke leaked the information in an effort to undermine an ATF agent who went public with criticism of the ill-fated operation. And on Capitol Hill, the Senate Judiciary Committee was back at work today on immigration reform. The committee is expected to have a bill ready for the full Senate before the end of the week. Arizona Senator Jeff Flake, one of the so-called Gang of Eight who developed the bill, says the process has been far more positive than the last attempt to pass comprehensive immigration reform back in 2007. Last week, Arizona State University economists released their latest information about Arizona's economic recovery. Joining us tonight from ASU are economists Lee McFeeters and Dennis Hoffman. And also with us, Mike Orr from ASU Center for Real Estate Theory and Practice. Good to have you all here. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here, Ted.
Lee, is Arizona experiencing an economic rebound?
Well, the economy is coming back. The question is, how fast? We had 3 years of job loss, of course, related to the recession. Then in 2011, we began to add jobs. 2012 was better, about 48,000 jobs. This year, we were hoping that 2013 might turn into perhaps 65,000 jobs. Certainly an improvement over last year, but you know, those early forecasts really didn't factor in the sequester, and the national economy seems to still be quite sluggish. So we're just kind of looking, got our fingers crossed that this will be a better year than last year.
Why isn't that forecast coming to fruition any better than it is?
Well, sequester is a problem, Ted. Job creation is a problem. Here we go with another jobless recovery, and it's deja vu all over again, if you would. Out of 2001, we had a very slow job creation scenario. Actually, that's where the Bush tax cuts came from, trying to create jobs in the early 2000s. This one's worse. You know, since 1990, 2001, now this one, jobs that are easily replaced aren't coming back. And, you know, they may never come back.
That becomes that new normal situation,
That's
correct?
right. The robotics, the technology, the labor-saving innovation that's taking place.
And the outsourcing as well?
Outsourcing is a big deal, but, you know, I think it's robotics is the bigger deal. 1970, you needed, say, for a given number of cars, you need 4 auto workers. Today, for that same number of cars, you need 1.
7.9% unemployment, Lee. I think this is the 3rd straight month, something along those lines for that. What's going on here? Why is that not improving?
Well, typically when you have a recovery and jobs begin to pick up, you have people that were out of the labor force coming back into the labor force. We've got about 235,000 people unemployed in Arizona right now, and the labor force tends to be augmented. Every time you have graduation, you have more people coming into the labor force. Population growth is continuing. It's not the 2 to 3% that we had in the boom years, but the population is still growing, and that causes the labor force to increase. The result is the unemployment rate can be very sticky. We're still down about 0.5%, though, from a year ago at this time.
You mentioned population growth. That's a factor in real estate as well. Are we seeing what we expected? Obviously, this isn't the 1950s or 60s here in percentage-wise increase, but are folks moving back into Arizona, or what's going on?
Yeah, population is starting to grow at a faster rate. It's still not back to the sort of rate we saw 10 years ago, but it's growing fast enough to overwhelm the growth in the housing stock. That's one of the reasons we've got housing shortages. There's people are arriving and population growing faster than we're building homes for them at the moment.
Are you seeing people with the wherewithal to actually buy homes? I mean, if fewer people are coming back into work, I would think fewer people would be able to buy homes.
Well, they're not all buying homes. There's demand for rental homes as well, and there's no surplus of rental homes either. If anyone offers a home for lease, there's a lot of people lining up to lease that home, as well as the people who are competing to buy
There are
homes.
incomes being made out there, though, Ted. You know, the April flow was very good in the state. It's clear to me that, you know, and you can't take these incomes and spread them across everybody. I suspect that incomes are being made at high-end wage earners. Capital gains, perhaps, are a piece of this puzzle. But, you know, the jobs aren't back from the peak, but you could argue that a lot of the income is total income, not income per person.
You mentioned the U.S. economy maybe isn't moving forward as much as hoped. How does Arizona's economic scenario compare to the U.S. as a whole?
Well, even though we're only growing at about 2%, that is good enough to make Arizona a top 10 growth state. The most recent numbers we have for April, I believe Arizona was number 9 in the country in the rate of job creation. Now, you of course have some states like North Dakota that are driven by you know, energy and particular resource assets, reserves that they have. When you come to Arizona, we don't really share in that, and we're being driven by a simple recovery in the economy. People are moving here. Jobs are slowly coming back, but they're only coming back at about 2%, but that's still better than most places.
Is that a healthy 2% or is that a questionable 2%? Well,
it could be better, which was the tagline for my talk last week. I think it really could be better. We've got to have an economy that generates good jobs at a faster pace than a 2% to get back to any kind of the growth metrics that this economy is used to. And there's some real puzzles out there. North Dakota is not really a puzzle. Anybody associated with resources is going to grow jobs. But how about California? I think you pointed California out last week, right, Lee?
California, much to the surprise of the regional economists that track the West, they're number 7 in job growth, and the parts of the economy that are really showing strength there are the high-paying tech jobs, the professional jobs, kind of upper-end jobs, and I think that that is an economy that has surprised most people who really expected population outflows and I don't know what, high taxes to stifle economic growth.
Well, that's a good point, because we hear a lot on this program about how Arizona is just poaching from California, and you'd be a nut to go invest in anything over in California. It sounds like a lot of nuts are investing in California.
Sounds like they are.
Yeah.
It's still an innovation magnet, both for workers and for businesses. That old line manufacturing may migrate out of California, and we've heard that a lot. Some of it may show up in Arizona, but I'll bet it'll be retooled. I'll bet it'll be much more robotic. It won't come with the kind of jobs that it has historically.
Mike, as far as real estate is concerned, give us an overview, 30,000-foot picture here. What are we looking at, and what can we expect?
Well, the housing market is one of the driving factors in Arizona's economy right now. The supply shortage is causing a lot of competition. Every home that comes on the market is attracting multiple bids, and the builders are starting to ramp up production. They're actually limited by the number of employees they can get with the right skills. The construction trades were decimated in the recession, and they're now coming back, but they need people who actually know how to do the framing and the roofing and the concrete laying.
Are we seeing a difference as far as home building is concerned? Are we still seeing the outskirts of town getting the most attention, and what kind of homes are being? It seems like things may have changed here in the past few years.
Well, I'm not actually seeing much change. If you look at what they're building, it's they're building out on the outskirts, mainly where the land is affordable. I know the many of the cities would like them to build vertically closer to town, but most of the builders I see are saying, well, after you.
I see.
Because they've got a model that works, makes money, and that's buying up agricultural land and turning it into subdivisions. Now, what they are doing is building more efficient homes. So they're much more energy efficient, because that's a big selling point over resell.
Are the designs different, not just energy efficiency, but just in terms of living?
Yes, the key thing that they're offering now is multi-generational homes, because there's been a lot of cases where the young people are staying with their parents or the older generation are also living there. So they've designed plans that are really useful for that type of environment.
Mike mentioned difficulty in finding workers for home builders. Is the job scenario in Arizona, is that, we kept hearing, we've got to diversify, too much construction. Have we diversified?
Well, the number one job growth component in Arizona right now, fastest growing part of the economy, is construction jobs. Probably going to add about 7,000 construction jobs, probably turn in something in the order of 6, 7, maybe 8% growth, which would be 4 times faster than the rest of the economy. Balancing that out, the second fastest component of the economy is finance jobs. Now, how much of that's related to real estate? Probably a good part. But I would say that looking at the breakout of the Arizona economy, industry by industry, we're not that much different from the U.S. I think that right now, at least, manufacturing, for example, in Arizona, we're not a 10% manufacturing state. But nationally, the share of manufacturing is declining as well.
Sequestration, how much of an impact is it having? How much do you think it will have?
I think it is creating an uncertainty. National numbers, and then they translate, I think, in a little higher degree to Arizona. National numbers where they shaved about 0.8% off from GDP. Government issues did in the first quarter. It's supposed to be a little bit worse than that in the second quarter. I think uncertainty in aerospace defense is a big potential problem in Arizona. So the counter is we have to be out front of that. It's certainly not a surprise. There's been discussions about cutting back in the Department of Defense for a number of years. And so being smart about the types of research and development and product development that our firms undertake here in terms of maybe security or drones or surveillance kinds of equipment would certainly be prudent.
Same question as with Lee. Diversification, are we seeing that happening at all?
Well, again, I would echo something that, and I know I've talked with our colleague Tom Rex about this as well. We're not that, construction gets a big a part of the media, but we're not that different really than the average state. We've been, in our boom years, we're bloated more toward, say, construction and real estate. I'm hopeful that the finance component that Lee is seeing is more financial services, the insurance industries, the consultants for finance, trading securities. That would certainly be something I think that would be a good sign. And of course, there's medical and medical research and healthcare in terms of services that we're seeing growing.
As far as the real estate market is concerned, give us a forecast now, what we can expect to see in the future. I bring this up a lot with investors because it just seemed like that was such a factor in the last problem. Are prices increasing, do you think, too much, too quickly? And what are investors, what's their role in this?
Well, investors have really sort of caused the market to stop going down when they first entered the market about 4 years ago. The market's got its own momentum upwards now, so even if the investors disappeared, it would probably still keep going up because we've got a lot of people with much more confidence in the market wanting to buy homes. Ordinary homeowners, though, are limited by how quickly they can get finance approved, whereas the investors, generally, they're bidding with cash, so it's up to them whether they stay or not. The investors are starting to slow down a little bit. We did 37% of transactions last summer were investor transactions, which is an all-time high. We're down to 27% now, which is still high, but it's clearly reducing.
So real quickly, because we're running out of time, as far as the forecast is concerned with the house, what do you see here? Next few months, rest of the year?
We're going to see prices go up until we get the really hot months, and then they're probably going to settle down and stay flat for a little while, and then they're probably going to start going up again in the fall. That's the same story as we had last year.
Interesting. Real quickly, give me a headline for what you see for the economy here for the rest of the year.
Slow growth continues.
That's it.
That's it.
Give me a headline.
I'm actually optimistic over maybe not the next year, but the next couple of years. I think that the energy shock, that's the positive energy shock with more abundant energy at a cheaper price, is really going to be an injection for this economy. Think about the 80s when the price of oil fell so dramatically. I think that you're going to see orders of magnitude like that.
Okay, so you kind of like his headline, but maybe in a little bolder.
Near term, I don't disagree at all. I'm just saying let's not give up on this economy, and let's not ignore the benefits that innovation and lower energy prices are going to bring to us over the next 3 to 5 years.
Well, sounds like encouraging news all around, maybe a little muted, but encouraging nonetheless. Good to have you all here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you.
Get the inside scoop on what's happening at Arizona PBS. Become an 8 Insider. You'll receive weekly updates on the most anticipated upcoming programs and events. Get the 8 Insider delivered to your email inbox. Visit azpbs.org to sign up today.
Phosphorus is becoming harder to find. That's important because phosphorus is an essential nutrient for food growth. The Phosphorus Sustainability Research Coordination Network, a global gathering of researchers and stakeholders, met in Washington, D.C. last week to look at ways to conserve phosphorus. ASU researcher James Elser was involved with the event, and he joins us now. It's good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here.
All right, give me what is phosphorus?
Well, phosphorus is a chemical element. It's the 15th element in the periodic table, and it's a very important part of molecules and organisms.
How is it formed? Where is it found?
Well, it's formed in stars billions of years ago when the universe itself was formed. We are lucky enough to have it locked up in some rocks here on Earth, and that's what we've been mining for the last 50 to 75 years at a really intense rate in order to grow crops.
Where are the largest deposits right now of phosphorus?
By far the largest deposits of phosphorus are in Morocco in northern Africa. We have good deposits here in Florida primarily. There's some in North Carolina, Idaho. And we've been mostly relying on those in the past, but those are starting to get tapped out and get limited.
And how is phosphorus extracted?
Oh, it's a pretty complicated process. Gigantic tractors scrape it out of the earth, and then it's treated with concentrated sulfuric acid to extract the phosphorus into phosphate, and then gigantic piles of something called phosphogypsum are produced, and these are radioactive and they're really quite unpleasant. But ultimately, we get concentrated phosphorus that's used to make fertilizer then.
And that's key, of course, to food growth is the fertilizer, correct?
Absolutely. One of the keys of the Green Revolution is high-yield crops, more water use, and fertilizers, 3 legs of the Green Revolution. Any one of those legs is broken, and the Green Revolution goes away.
So let's find out about phosphorus. I understand that we might be running low on phosphorus. Is that true?
Well, there's a lot of phosphorus out there, but just like any other sort of resource like oil, we get the easy stuff first, the cheap stuff. The good stuff goes first, and now we're started working our way through the cheap, easy stuff, and now we're starting to look at situations where the price is going up. In 2008, the price of phosphate rock went up by 700%.
My goodness.
And it spiked back down, and it's fluctuating, trailing back up again. So that got people's attention, so people are starting to think about these issues now.
It seems to me that I remember phosphorus being a problem with water pollution and runoff and these sorts of things. If it's running off into something, can't we capture that?
Yeah, that's right. So there's the two sides of the sustainability coin. One is the supply we just talked about. The other is sort of what's going away from the system. That's right. So phosphorus is used by organisms, including organisms in lakes and oceans. And when they get a lot of it, you get a lot of green algae, a lot of blooms, a lot of unpleasant situations because we're leaking so much out of the food system at the farm and in cities, for example. So the answer seems obvious, doesn't it, right?
Yes.
So we need to go about figuring out and inventing and innovating our ways to capture that phosphorus that's leaking out of the system, recycling it, make a loop, the way nature does it, a loop system, and then we'll have a continuous supply of phosphorus as long as we want it, and we'll have clean water, clean oceans, clean lakes.
What's the biggest challenge, or the bigger challenge, capturing or recycling?
Well, both of those are issues, right? Yeah, so a lot of it is dilute, a lot of it's out there in a lot of different places, a lot of different sources, a lot of it's in food waste, a lot of it's in animal waste, a lot of it's in human waste. Many of those things are unpleasant. People don't like to deal with them, but nevertheless, it's a great thing. We just had a big job segment in the show. We think there's a whole new job sector about to be created, and that's designed around these sort of green economy, circular economy things, with phosphorus recycling to be one of them.
So as far as research, and you are a researcher, what are the priorities regarding phosphorus research right now?
So we don't know how to turn these sort of very early processes for phosphorus recapture from food waste, animal waste, and human waste into economically viable technologies yet. So there's a lot of things that have to be streamlined. A lot of processes need to be improved. And so we need to be able to perfect those and make them practical, and then figure out all the ways, the barriers to adoption for those new technologies.
I would imagine if recycling really hits something, the new widget is discovered that helps with recycling, then the mining might be scaled back as well.
Well, that's right. Well, mining for phosphorus in the U.S. is going away slowly. It's on its way down. But we think there's a whole, rather than let the future mining be somewhere in Morocco and make jobs in Morocco for phosphorus miners, why don't we make jobs here in the United States for recycling phosphorus from the food system? We already have it. Those jobs will be everywhere in our economy. They'll be in every city and town.
The 5-year research project on phosphorus and sustainability of phosphorus. Explain what the project is, what it's looking at, how far along you are.
Right. So we just, this is a project funded by the U.S. National Science Foundation to bring together researchers in the United States and around the world to coordinate their activities. And so this is related to phosphorus sustainability. It's a 5-year project. We just had our first meeting. It was in Washington, D.C., and we held it at the Center for Science and Policy Outcomes that ASU runs there in Washington. We had about 25 scientists, engineers, policy analysts, economists, et cetera, from all kinds of disciplines involved in food and food production and waste handling and water. And then we had 25 or so stakeholders from different agencies like the USDA, the EPA. We had people from private industry, the mining companies, food companies, grower associations, and also people involved in the environment.
And so what the multiple disciplines kind of is interesting. What are you looking for from these different folks? From these?
Well, it's easy for people within disciplines to work together, and they do that work with themselves. It's very natural to them, but it's harder to get interdisciplinary groups to work together. You have to come together, get to know each other, speak each other's language, figure out what each of them is going to get out of the equation. And so that's why these coordination networks are important, because it lets that dialogue get started. And in our case, we're also not just talking among the researchers. We want the researchers to be informed by, and the research that takes place in the network to be informed by the farmers, the water groups, the agencies that are involved in all these areas. And so we want them to help us choose the research topics and what to work on.
And we should mention again that this is important. You mentioned the skyrocketing prices here, and that's a bother and a pain for those of us in industrialized nations. But the poorer countries, this is serious business.
Right. So in the developed world, only a very, very small part of our food price is actually involved the fertilizer price. For a farmer, of course, it's a little bit different. It's a fair amount of their cost to run the farm is the fertilizer cost they pay. But in the developing world, where a lot of insecurity and national security issues are playing out, hungry people who now need to farm more effectively can't afford fertilizer now at the current price, much less the price that might be in place 20, 30 years from now when we have more people, more affluent people, and bioenergy is expanding and all these increasing demands. So we need to figure out a way to have a more sustainable system that's environmentally sustainable, economically sustainably, socially sustainable.
So with that in mind, what do we look for? Give us a timetable for some sort of breakthrough or some sort of, again, headline here regarding phosphorus.
Well, wow, you really put me on the spot there. No, scientists know they should never try to forecast breakthroughs like this. We do have some great technologies that are getting started. So folks like Bruce Rittman at the Biodesign Institute at Arizona State are working on some early generation technologies that'll be able to take grocery waste, for example. 30 to 50% of the food in the United States in the developed world and in the developing world is wasted.
Yeah.
And so to be able to take those waste streams and be able to turn them back into something useful like fertilizer.
All right. Well, it's very interesting stuff. Good luck with your research. Thanks for being here.
Hey, it's great to be here.
All right. Tomorrow on Arizona Horizon, the Arizona Corporation Commission is considering electrical deregulation. We'll hear the pros and cons of such a move. That's Tuesday evening, 5:30 and 10 on Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.